Statistics show that actually most event planning business are more likely to fail in their first 3 year of business. And a large part of that, after doing the research and looking at the stats, is that a lot of them, the reason why they're failing is because they're not actually setting up their business correctly. There are so many things that are missing, their structures that weren't done well from the beginning. And in this video, what I'm going to share with you is how to actually start your event planning business in such a way that your business is geared for success. Because once you make it beyond year 3, you're 90% more likely to still be in business 10 years later. So I'm going to use a 5-point system to break down all the different areas in which you should focus on when you're starting your business to ensure that you're geared for success. I find if you take this piece by piece and just work through it, it's so much easier than looking at starting a business as this massive, big, giant mountain that you have to go conquer. The first piece that I want you to jump into is validating your idea. So yes, I know you had the idea to start an event planning business. Maybe you're the person in your family who you're always planning everybody's events. You're planning big birthday parties, the kids' birthday parties, everybody's celebration, their engagement, all of it. And you just thought, you know what? Well, why not do this and get paid for it since I'm doing it anyways? Well, here's the thing. Before you jump in and actually start a business, you want to ensure that there's a demand for your service. So yes, there's a demand within your circle, within your friends and family group, but that's just because people might rely on you because you're good on planning. Now, when you're looking to expand beyond that, you really do need to test that idea. So if I'm going outside of my friends and my family, are there people out there who actually want this service? Are there people out there who are willing to pay money for this service? And are what they're willing to pay what I want to charge and still be able to make a profit, right? Because keep in mind now, you're going to be putting your time on the line, right? Is it going to be worth it for you? You need to validate that before you jump into the business. And I find some people just miss the step. They have a great idea, they think it's good, they have a passion, and they jump in. But here's the thing before you do that. There's a place that I want you to be at before you start your business. I want you to validate the idea to ensure that your passion, so the thing that you enjoy doing, is also meeting demand, meaning that there are people out there who would like someone to do that and are willing to pay for someone to do that, and that you're good at it. Right? Because you might find that, you know what, you enjoy doing kids' birthday parties, but what people are demanding are weddings, but what you're really good at is kids' birthday parties, right? So you need to ensure that those three things are intersecting. So how do you validate your idea? Go out and do research. Look around your market. Look at what the demand is. Look around your area. Are there a ton of wedding planners but not enough party planners? Maybe there's a reason. Maybe there's a ton more weddings or people willing to pay for weddings than they are for like kids' birthday parties. Or maybe it's the reverse, but you need to do that research to validate the idea. So one of the best ways to actually survey the market is to speak to people if you can. If you know someone who's getting married, and I don't mean your immediate circle, try to see where they're at. Are they hiring a planner? How much are they paying the planner? How much would they be willing to pay a planner if they didn't hire one, right? Try to have those conversations, but do your research as well just to see what other companies are out there in your area. So one of the things I found is I've met someone who said, you know what, I started a wedding planning business, I've had it up and running, and I'm not getting hired, no one is booking me. And when I did the research for her area, it turns out there was like one other wedding planning company, and that company was about to go out of business. So that means that there was not a ton of demand for wedding planners in her area. Now, that doesn't mean people weren't getting married in the area. It could just be that a lot of them were doing their weddings themselves. Maybe they're doing weddings on a smaller scale, so they didn't need to hire a planner. Whatever that is, I want you to do the research to find that out. Next thing you want to do in the validation stage is that you do want to get a business plan together. Now, when I say a business plan, I know it's going to scare a ton of people, but here's the thing you want to do. I don't want you to focus on doing these like really professional, standard, straight box cut, like cookie cutter business plans. I want you to think about what goal you have for your business. What's the goal? When would you like to achieve it by, and what do you plan to achieve it? Like, what do you plan to do to get there? If you can do those three things, you have your business plan pretty much up and running, right? Because that's the main thing you need to outline. What's your goal? You want to start a business. What kind of business? Event planning business. Do you want it to be successful? Yes. So what are you trying to achieve? Maybe you want to ensure that your business is making $200,000 every year. When do you want to hit that by? Do you want to hit that by your second year? How do you plan to get there, right? How do you plan to get to that 200,000? It's not about just saying, well, I've started an event planning business and then now all of a sudden I'm making $200,000 for the year. No, you need to put in a little bit of work, right? You might need to do some marketing. You might need to reach out to some contact. You might need to ask people for referrals, right? What are the things that you're going to do to get there? So that's essentially what your business plan should be, and that's in the validation phase. Now, once you've done that phase and you realize, you know what, this is still an amazing idea, I want to do it, well, let's get on to the second phase. So the second phase of starting your business is where you actually want to get your business foundation set up. Now, I cannot stress these enough because so many people skip over this step. Now, I know it's really exciting. You want to start the business, you want to jump in, you want to start booking clients, making money, and doing the pretty work. I get it. I was an event planner. But here's the thing. You do want to set your business up properly because the business foundation, it's basically just a structure of your house. And you can't build the house and then go fix the structure after. Well, you might be able to, but let me tell you, it's way more difficult than if you just did the foundations first. So what's in the foundation? Well, those are the basic things like choosing a name for your business, setting up your business bank accounts, getting your social media accounts in place, buying a domain name, setting up all the little things that will make your business legal, right? Choosing a business structure, registering your business. All these things are the things you want to do in the foundation side of it. Now, here's the thing. One of the things I don't want you to focus a ton on in this area is actually choosing a business name. I will meet people who will have spent months trying to come up with the perfect name. I don't want you to do that. Your business name is not the thing that's really going to bring you clients. Yes, it's important to help people who don't know about your business to be able to find you, especially when they're searching online, but it is not the key thing. So, yes, you've now spent 2 months coming up with the perfect name that you're the concierge of love. And then you spent the next 2 months where you have no clients, you have no income, and then you're wondering, what exactly am I doing with this business? I don't want you to be in that position. I would rather you spend 4 months actually doing client sourcing work and marketing and then spend 1 week coming up with a business name because it's something you can always change later on. Right now, I'm going to link a couple of resources for you that you can do this very easily with. I'm going to put together a full list of resources that you can use when you're starting your business, a full checklist, and I'm going to link it down below so you can download it. So you want to get that business name started. Once you have your business name, I want you to start securing everything in your business name. Do things like set up your social media account with your business name. Even if you don't know which platforms you're going to market on as yet, set them all up. Because the important part is once you have your name, you don't want to then keep it, have it laying around while you're doing other things, and then have other people come up with similar names, and then they have your website domain, they have your social media accounts, and you have to start doing variations on these different platforms. So go ahead and hit them up. Instagram, Facebook, Pinterest, just sign up for all of them, secure the accounts, they're all free, and just let them sit there until you figure out what you're gonna do. There's nothing you need to do at that point. Now, if you are going to register your business, which I highly recommend if you're starting this out properly, is you do want to have your legal structure in place. Now, I cannot advise you on this because you might be in a different country, different state, different province, different location that I am. So what you want to do is you do want to speak to either a legal professional, right? That's the first step, or you also want to speak to an accountant person because sometimes they might be able to give you some advice based on what the different tax benefits will be based on the structure you choose. But ensure that you speak with these people before you decide on something so that you know all the information before you actually make that decision. Now, once you have your legal structure and you register your business, you're official, right? Here's where I want you to get something really quickly. Now, I know this is not mandatory, but I want you to get your domain name. Yep. I love the online marketing space. That's my jam, right? And I want you to secure your online presence. Even if you are not planning to put up a website, I want you to go ahead, go to bluehost.com or one of them and just purchase your domain name in the name of your business because you're going to keep it there until you're ready for the website. The next thing you're going to do is you're going to go set up your business bank accounts. Set up a business bank account. Yes, I know. At this point, your business probably have zero revenue. Am I doing that zero right? Zero, zero, right? But you still want to have your account in place. One of the biggest mistakes I made when I started one of my businesses was I just had everything going through my personal account. And when it came to tax time, I had to sit there and go line by line through everything, try to separate what was a business expense from what was a personal expense, and trying to remember what each one was. Do you know what my memory is like months after the fact, after I bought something and the line in my bank account just said like DC 1069? I had no idea what that was. So it's important to try to separate them very early. Depending on where you are, I know in my location, I'm in Canada, a business bank account was free. It didn't charge me anything. Now there are certain fees associated with it depending on what I'm doing in the account, but just to have the account and do everyday banking, there is no fee. So if it's the same for you, this should not be a roadblock. Go into your bank and see if you can just open a separate business bank account. That way, when you do start having the revenue and expenses associated with your business, you have a separate account to funnel them into. It makes it way easier for you to track your business expenses, your revenue, and your profit at the end of the day. But most importantly, come tax time, it is so easy to get it all together and do your reporting because nothing is jumbled up. I think you also want to do under the business foundation phase is that you want to speak to an insurance company. So yes, you probably have not started planning any events yet or anything, really big and anything that's having any liability at the moment. But what you want to do is reach out to a couple of insurance companies. I recommend 2 to 3 just so you have a comparison and ask them, what kind of insurance should I have if I have an event planning business, if I'm going to be planning these types of events, if I'm going to be working with these type of clients, right? What would you recommend? Should I have insurance, period? What type of insurance? Should I have general insurance for my business or should I have more just event specific insurance as I'm booking different projects? Speak to them, get their advice, because that way, before you get an actual client in, you know what the next steps are so that you're not in any trouble, any legal battles, any liability cases later on. Trust me, you will thank me for this one. The third phase, and this is the phase that I find that everybody enjoys, is getting the pretty stuff set up. So this is getting the business pretty set up. This is the part everyone loves and they all jump ahead to, and they don't do step 1 and 2. But I promise you, if you do step 1 and 2, you'll enjoy this part even more. Well, maybe not, but either way, your business will thank you later on when it's not failing because you have your structures in place. So here's the thing, the pretty stuff, that is getting your website up, getting your logo, choosing your business colors, choosing your business font. Now, I'm going to link something below, as I said before. I'm going to link a resource where you can get all of this linked, downloaded in a nice, pretty list so you can go through and check them off. I also link a couple of resources that you can do this through. So for example, choosing your business font and colors, like, your branding elements, you can do very easily through canva.com, which I highly recommend. And you can do that and just set this all up. Then you can get your logo done. Now, I will say this video is for 2023, so I'm making some changes here. Now, before I used to recommend people get business cards, but I'm going to be honest. I can't tell when was the last time I gave someone my business card, especially after 2020. I don't think I've handed out one business card. Well, partially because I'm not touching people a lot. I do so much of my business come through online marketing. So think about where you are if you want to do that. I know the business card just seem pretty and legit, but think about if you actually need it. If people are referring you and just sending people to like an Instagram account or a Facebook page, don't waste your money if you don't need to. Take that extra cash and put into something a little bit more substantial like your website, right? And speaking of websites, yes, I'm going to link resources that you can use in my download. Of course, I'm going to link all the ones that I recommend, like the different platforms and some key things to get you started. Now, one of the things that I also included was for some people who don't have, the money to invest in a website designer right now, or you don't have the design skills yourself, what I do is I've linked an actual template for free that you can access in the resource just to get started. Now, it's not a full website, don't get me wrong. It's just a quick splash page that you can use to get something up and ready. So if someone is asking you, like, do you have any examples of your work or a website that I can look on? You have something to show them right away until you get everything in place. Along the lines of the business pretty is you also want to get some tools in place. And these tools I'm referring to are your actual business tools. So things that you need when you're working with clients. So some templates. If you're going to be sending them brochures, which you are, right? You're going to be meeting clients. They want to see brochures or they want proposals, or you book someone, they want invoice. All these little templates are very good to have set up and ready to go. And once your branding elements are in place, they're so much easier to design. I, of course, have a ton of templates. I'm linking them in the template shop, eventplanningtemplates.com. You can definitely check them out, but I'm going to link them so you can see them all. These are great to start with because you don't have to do a ton of design work. I've already designed them for you. You just got to pop in your branding elements, right? Change a font, change a color, put in your pretty event photos, and they're ready to go. So if a client does reach out and they're saying, hey, I have an event coming up. I just want to know your price. Can you send me a proposal? You have it ready to go. Now, there are a couple of tools that can also help you to do this really efficiently, and they're called CRMs, right? So they're client relationship management systems. So there are tools like Honeybook, Planner, Dubsado, right? They're really CRM tools where you can just set up a workflow. You can put in a client's information, you can send them a proposal electronically, they can respond, you can send them a contract electronically, they can sign it electronically, they can pay invoice electronically. Okay, I've said electronically too many times, but you get the idea. It just really helps to streamline your business. Now, here's the thing that I'm not going to touch on is your event supplies. So in my opinion, I don't recommend actually doing event supply purchasing as a part of starting up your business. The reason for this is when you start purchasing event supplies, you're purchasing them